Okay, let's do a few examples of how we can apply the first part of the fundamental theorem of calculus. So here I've just restated it that fundamental theorem part 1 tells us that when we take the derivative of the accumulation function, we get the original function back evaluated at the upper limit of integration. So for example 1, we want to find the derivative where y is the integral from 3 to x of t cubed plus 1 dt. Notice that our independent variable is the upper limit of integration. And so the derivative of this function, applying our theorem, will be, so I'm going to write the derivative here of the integral from 3 to x, our area accumulation function, of t cubed plus 1 dt. Well, when we apply this fundamental theorem of calculus, it tells us that this will be the original function evaluated at x. So this will just be x cubed plus 1. Okay. This theorem, remember, tells us that the function that we construct here, this area accumulation function, is an antiderivative of t cubed plus 1. Okay, let's try a couple more examples. Our second example, very similar. We have integral from x to 3 of e to the t cosine t dt, and we want to find the derivative of this area accumulation function. So we want to find the derivative with respect to x, which should be our upper limit of integration. And so the first thing we're going to do, because it is not our upper limit, it's our lower limit, we're going to switch the order of the limits of integration by making our integral negative. So this will be the derivative of the negative integral from 3 to x of e to the t cosine t dt. And now applying the fundamental theorem of calculus, this tells us that this should be the negative of e to the x cosine x. Okay, and our final example is slightly different. Here in this example, we have a composition. So let's recall how we take the derivative of a composition. If I have, for example, an outer function and an inner function, and we're trying to take the derivative of this composition, we use the chain rule. And where the chain rule tells us we take the derivative of the outside function evaluated at the inside function, and we multiply that by the derivative of the inside function in the function that we have given to us. It's an accumulation function. The outside function, let's call it f of u. The outside function is the integral from 2 to u of 5t sine of t dt, where the inside function u is x cubed plus 1. So u here is this g of x. All right, so if we're going to apply, I could have just called it g of x, but I called it u. If we're going to apply the derivative, if we're going to find the derivative, right, we're going to need, if we're taking the derivative of the entire function, the composition, we are going to need to take the derivative of the outside function. So we're applying the chain rule here. So first we're going to take the derivative of this function with respect to u. So that's just going to be 5u sine of u. This is applying the fundamental theorem of calculus, part 1. And then we take the derivative of the inside function, and the derivative of x cubed plus 1 will be 3x squared. Now, just like in Calc 1, we would like to write our final solution in terms of x, in terms of the original independent variable, which was x. So I'm going to replace x cubed plus 1 for u, and this will become 5 times x cubed plus 1 times sine of x cubed plus 1 times 3x squared. And I like to move this term at the back. I don't like it to be next to the argument of the sine function because I don't want to get confused. This is outside of the sine function. So first I'm going to move the 3, multiplication is commutative, so I can move all of this to the front and multiply the 3 by the 5. So I'm going to rewrite this as 15x squared times x cubed plus 1. We could distribute that. I'm not going to, but we could. times the sine of x cubed plus 1, and there is our derivative of the accumulation function. So just a few examples of how to apply the fundamental theorem part 1. In the next video, we're going to talk about fundamental theorem part 2, do a short proof of it, and then we will come back to part 1 and think about it a little bit using part 2 to better understand what the fundamental theorem tells us.